Good afternoon, YouTubers. Tsquare with Tsquare Talk. So I hope everybody's having a great Monday. It is Monday. We're kicking off the week. We had an exciting weekend. We had some great giveaways. We didn't do a members giveaway this past weekend only because we didn't have any members yet. I kind of dropped the ball, I guess, on really explaining that the memberships were open. And so it didn't really pan out the first one quite the way that it went. But we did give away a 1 ounce silver coin for the shout out giveaway, and we did give away a random comment picker where we took all the comments and we put them in a bingo holder, and somebody won a 1 ounce for that. But I expect next month's going to be even more funner. We're going to do some cool stuff. I'm working on some different ways to thank the members because now we do have members. First, I'll thank J.M. Sparger, Chris Rivera, Steve Newberry, Chris B, Thomas D, Ronald Smith, and Ryan Reed and Conrad, who just joined earlier this afternoon. So thank you to you guys that joined as members. It is only $1.99 if you want to become a member. That will entitle you to some extra perks. Plus, you'll have a star next to your name, and as time goes on, if you're a member for 1 month, it will be one color, 2 months, one color, I think, then 3 months, and then 6 months, and then a year, it changes. And the perks, some really cool perks. We're going to implement something where the member can not just giveaways, but other stuff to where it makes it a little more exciting for members, where you can possibly you'll be the one to get to pick what the Monday video will be. Anything you want to cover. I mean, if you tell me you want to cover, I don't know. I mean, it could get silly within reason. Hopefully it ain't. If you have a question that you want covered in a video, you want something done like that, we can do a lot of different stuff. So we're going to try to implement that. Who knows? It could be anything. So we'll see how that goes. And I say anything within reason. I mean, I can't guarantee I can accommodate everything, but it's going to be a lot of fun. With that being said, today we're going to talk a little bit about de-dollarization, only because just recently we had the United Arab Emirates make a deal with India where now they're going to start accepting oil for Indian rubles. And that's a big game changer. A lot of people don't understand. They're like, so what? It's one country. Yeah, they're a big country, but it's just one country. It's really a big deal. And the reason it's a big deal is because there's a lot of fees that go into exchange fees when you want to buy dollars and then hold them and then transfer them over to United Arab Emirates or Saudi Arabia or any country, really. And what that does is when you have countries like India who would hold regularly any dollars, so they don't have to buy the dollars, they'll already have the dollars, so any dollars that come into their banks, they would hold them until they need them. And they would only use them for trade, essentially, which means they've got an awful big piggy bank in India with uncashed checks. And that's basically what a dollar is. It's a debt note, and you hold it, and then when you need it, you turn it over to someone else. It would be an equivalent to me writing you out a check and you not cashing it. I don't have to worry about it yet because you can't cash it for, say, 30 days, 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be. If I told you that, you'd probably be upset. You'd be like, well, man, I want to cash it now so I can go spend it. And when that happens, all those extra fiat notes that are out there around the world, eventually, if they don't need to hold them anymore because they're making a deal in cross-border payments without the U.S. dollar, then essentially they don't have the use to hold those dollars anymore. So what we could expect to see from multiple countries, because right now, there's not a lot of countries that are involved in it. However, the big factor to take into play here is on August 22nd, that's the next BRICS meeting. And that's all countries that essentially are grouped together and they've decided they want to start little by little de-dollarizing. A lot of people say it's not the end of the world. It's not going to be a big deal. And you know what? You're going to hear that on almost anything that happens. Just like us coming off the gold standard back then, it's not a big deal. We print another $1 trillion, it's not a big deal. We start selling out war bonds and more treasury notes, it's not a big deal. Inflation, it's transitory, it's not a big deal, it's just temporary. Oh, inflation's here to stay now. It's not a big deal, though. I mean, all these, they're not going to tell you what the big deal is. The big deal is the more dollars that get printed, the less they're worth. The less use that other countries have for those dollars means they don't need to keep them. They can just send them back to the U.S. now and buy stuff. And essentially now we're competing with those dollars. We, as in me, you, and everybody. Because the prices of everything will continue to climb higher and higher. It's a scary thought for me because I mean, we're already high when you think about the prices that we've seen go up. I was actually just reading a post on Facebook and it said, if you have a quarter and you were a kid, what soda would you pick? You know, I honestly don't even know if I remember 25-cent sodas. I think back when I was a kid, I think sodas were like 50 to 60 cents. And now you're talking, I've seen sodas at gas stations sell as high as $3, $3.60 even. It's pretty insane, the price jumps that we've been seeing. And a lot of people want to say, oh, that's just because they're a greedy company. You know, it's not that they're a greedy company. It's that the cost of all this stuff is getting higher and higher. And it's not just the cost of the soda. It's the cost, the property taxes on that store. Maybe the rent for the building on the store. Maybe the Freon, the refrigerator systems. When everything starts going up, it only makes sense that it pushes everything else up. I'll give you an example. Let's just say you mow lawns, and maybe you're a kid and you're just mowing lawns. You're still in the Stone Age. You're mowing lawns for $10 a lawn, just for the heck of it. You know, you like doing it, you like the exercise, but all of a sudden gas goes up, and now, you know, you're spending $10 worth of gas just to go mow the lawn. And that's if you're walking over there. If you're driving over there, let's just say you have a truck or something and you're driving over there, the gas goes up, insurance on the truck, you have to have the truck. Some people might say, well, you got to have insurance anyway. So when you go to the grocery store, that type of stuff. But little by little, we're seeing the prices on everything we buy go up. And I know a lot of people out there don't believe in gold and silver, precious metals. They think, oh, well, they're not going to go up, y'all in La La Land. But it only makes sense that as everything goes up, it carries everything else up in price. And so just because we haven't seen a huge run up on silver, in fact, silver is, again, last week, it got a beat down. And I think it could even go a little bit lower this week. But I think next week, when a lot more countries join the BRICS, I think that could really change the game. Because, you know, we have right now, the BRICS is technically only made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But we've been hearing rumors and rumors now about 20 other countries, 30 other countries, 40 other countries. Are these countries all really going to be accepted into the BRICS? I mean, there's some countries that you know they will because they have such big trade with key players that are already in the BRICS. I mean, my bet, there's no way they're not going to at least add 5 countries. They might tell the 5 countries that are already in it, hey, everybody pick a country you trade the most with that applied, and we'll bring them in. And then we'll double our size. But it could be worse than that. That's a generous statement. It could be all 42 applications are essentially joining. And if that happens, it still won't be the end of the world yet for the dollar, but it's another nail in the coffin, in my opinion. What I think will happen is maybe they won't, because they all still hold dollars, and they don't want those dollars getting devalued overnight. They want to get rid of them first. You look at what China just did. China just dumped tons and tons of dollars, got rid of a bunch of their treasury notes, and they didn't buy as many lately. They've been slowing down on their purchasing. Why is that? Because they probably know what's coming. And so they're already trying to get out. They're a large player. They have a lot of them, and they've been growing essentially with those. They've been getting interest, but we've been devaluing the dollar. So the interest payments that come in the form of dollars buys them less and less goods on the world stage. And I know someone might be like, well, that they're dollars, so it only affects the American trade stage if they get something from Americans. But the truth of the matter is, the world right now pretty much uses dollars. And as more countries get rid of them and stop using them, that could be bad. Now, I know I had seen something the other day. Someone said, well, who's going to trust China? Who's going to trust Russia? Who's going to trust these smaller countries with an IOU? You know, the dollar is dominant, you know, but the truth of the matter is, I would be taking a chance trusting another country's currency, or I could take the guarantee that the U.S. is going to continue devaluing the currency that it has. Because let's be honest, we're seeing it get devalued all the time. And that saddens me because, one, I have a military retirement that is affected by essentially U.S. dollars. And if them dollars were to all of a sudden plunge in value, that makes it difficult for me. It would make it difficult for a lot of people that are on Social Security, that are on any kind of benefits from the government, any kind of retirements from the government or the military. And those benefits just essentially, or retirements, whatever you want to call them. Some people won't call a retirement a benefit. I classify any money that you get from the government as a form of benefit, not just like the welfare benefits or that type of stuff. So as that has less purchasing power, it puts those people in a harder bind. And I believe that eventually the purchasing power of the dollar is going to totally collapse. And that's where gold and silver will come into play. That's where any assets essentially will come into play, whether it's some copper wiring that you might have in your garage, whether it's even some old copper pennies that you've had in a jar for a long time. That's why a lot of subscribers, they save copper pennies. I actually was just on a phone call with a friend of mine and a subscriber to the channel that we were talking about copper pennies and what the value is of them right now and how many he's got. I mean, we're talking bucket loads of them. And when you get into that, I mean, copper could have a huge value, but you know what? Even the zinc pennies could have a huge value. I'm going to put those two down and grab two different ones. Y'all been looking at the same two coins for a while now. Let's see. So if as I'm flashing my hands, you can at least be getting the show of what coins they are. You know, so even zinc will eventually have value. You know, our founding fathers wanted us to have copper, nickel, silver, and gold as precious metals because they knew that was money. And that's why our original coins were made out of those money. And now our money is made out of zinc, clad, all kinds of other stuff. We don't make honest money anymore. The nickel is still an honest nickel because it's still nickel. But on the flip side, they're talking about changing the metal of the nickel. Excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Changing the metal that they make with the nickel and changing the copper penny, or just getting rid of the copper penny altogether. And by copper penny, I don't mean copper. I actually mean zinc, because we already don't make an honest penny. It's actually a zinc penny now. Someone's going to catch that and they're going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. But they're getting rid of even the zinc penny. And the reason for that, even zinc is getting too costly. Just making a penny is getting more expensive than it's worth. And the truth of the matter is, a penny has so little buying power, a lot of people don't want them anymore. I've seen people literally just throw pennies out their window. If they get pennies at the cash register, they don't even put it in their pocket anymore. They just toss it, or they throw it in a little jar, short a penny, take a penny, that type of thing. And so there it is. I mean, you know, we don't make honest money. The nickel's still honest, but now they want to change that too. So with that being said, that's going to complete the video for today. I really think that people need to keep their eyes open. They need to be watching what's going on with the BRICS. It's August 22nd. I think we could see some exciting stuff happening. One, to the build-up, and then afterwards, how is it going to play out? I think the writing will be on the wall. We're going to know, the U.S. government is going to know what was said at that meeting. I'm convinced that even if they're not there and they don't publish it, I'm convinced in today's world, someone is going to seep out that information, and it's going to get back to them how many countries are joining, how many countries are ditching the dollar. Maybe they'll even have some secret plans to, okay, everybody has until the end of the year to get rid of your dollar. Why? Because they got to get rid of it. They got to get rid of them. They don't want to be stuck holding them. It's like the analogy that I've always used. You know, if 100 of us are holding up a car and I know we can't hold up that car forever, some people are going to be tempted to walk away and leave somebody else holding the bag. Because when it does come crashing down, it's going to be the people that really held out to the end, or the people that didn't really realize that people were stepping away and that car was getting a little heavier each time. So with that being said, I thank everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And on top of that, if you're not a member and you want to become a member, it's only $1.99 to hit that join button, and it really helps out the channel hugely. So I thank you guys for joining, and we're going to implement some more perks, I think. I don't know how yet. Right now, we only have a few things. Some special events or a live stream each month for the $1.99, but I think it's a great deal for only $1.99, less than a cup of coffee. So with that being said, I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.